The gift of the Sabbath, a day of rest and renewal. In a world that never seems to stop spinning, where deadlines, errands, and expectations constantly demand our attention, the Sabbath day comes like a breath of fresh air. It is God's divine invitation to pause, to rest, and to remember who we are and who He is. The Sabbath is not just a tradition or a religious formality. It is a command from the Creator Himself. In Exodus 20, 8 through 10, we read, "Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God." God, who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, rested on the seventh, not because He was tired, but to set an example for us. The Sabbath is a weekly reminder that we are more than what we produce. It teaches us to stop, reflect, and reconnect with our families, our communities, and, most importantly, with our God. More than just physical rest. Yes, the Sabbath allows us to rest physically. After a week of work, it's a blessing to pause and recharge. But the Sabbath is more than just a day off from our daily grind. It's a spiritual reset. It gives us space to reflect on the goodness of God, to express gratitude, and to find peace in His presence. In Mark 2:27, Jesus reminds us, "The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath." This means the Sabbath is not a burden, but a gift. It is God's way of caring for our whole being, body, mind, and spirit. A time to reconnect with what truly matters. Too often, we chase after success, busyness, and recognition, but the Sabbath invites us to slow down and ask the deeper questions. Am I truly living or just existing? When was the last time I sat in silence and listened for God's voice? How are my relationships with my family, with God? By setting aside time to worship, pray, and enjoy simple moments with loved ones, we shift our focus from the temporal to the eternal. We realize that true joy is not found in doing more, but in being present with God and with one another. The Sabbath in our modern times. Today's fast-paced society often views rest as laziness or even guilt-inducing. Some people feel they can't afford to rest because bills need to be paid or goals must be achieved. But the Sabbath challenges this mindset. It reminds us that God is our ultimate provider. Trusting Him means trusting that we don't have to carry everything ourselves. Taking a Sabbath doesn't mean being idle, it means being intentional. It may look like attending church with your family, sharing meals and conversations without distractions, reading the Bible or meditating on God's Word, walking in nature and appreciating God's creation, turning off your phone and truly resting your mind. Whatever form it takes, the goal is clear: rest, reconnect, and renew. A weekly preview of heaven. The Sabbath also gives us a glimpse of eternity. It points us to that promised rest in God's kingdom, where pain and toil will cease. As it says in Hebrews 4:9, "There remains then a Sabbath rest for the people of God." Each Sabbath is a rehearsal of heaven. It is our weekly reminder that we belong to a God who not only works, but also rests and calls us into that same rhythm of grace. The Sabbath is not outdated, it's desperately needed, especially today. It is not about rules, but about relationship. It is God's loving command that says, "My child, stop running. Come rest in me." So as another week ends, let us honor the Sabbath, not out of obligation, but out of love and trust in the One who created it for us. In the stillness of the Sabbath, may we find strength, clarity, and peace that will carry us through the coming days.
Cover me and my loved ones with your mighty hand. Shield us from danger, harm, sickness,